My name is Kenyu, a junior college student deeply buried in endless coursework, internships, and the chaotic pressure of campus life. As soon as the long-awaited winter vacation finally arrived, I thought I could finally relax, catch up on sleep, and escape the stress of exams. But my mother had other plans. Without asking for my opinion, she firmly announced that she had arranged a blind date for me, her own leaving absolutely no room for refusal. I felt frustrated and helpless. How could I, a 20-year-old student still in college, need a blind date? I was completely unwilling to participate, and my only goal from the start was to ruin the date completely, making sure the man would lose all interest in me immediately. Under my mother's relentless urging, I reluctantly added the stranger on WeChat, determined to destroy my first impression before we even met. From my mother's description, he was an educated intellectual, highly accomplished, polite, well-mannered, and with a calm, mature temperament. I smirked to myself. People like that almost always hated overly cheesy, forward, and frivolous behavior the most, so I typed without hesitation, pouring out the most cringe-worthy, top lines I could think of, hoping to sound ridiculous and unbearable. Are you the future husband my mom has picked out for me? Hi baby, so excited that our love story officially starts today. Baby, do you know why this winter feels so freezing cold? It's simply because you aren't curled up warmly in my 37 degrees Celsius embrace. Baby, don't worry about anything from now on. I'll support you. After I graduate, I should earn around $5,000 every month, and I'll set aside $500 just for your living expenses. Stick with me, and you'll get to eat well and live comfortably. To make myself sound even more tacky and unreasonable, I added one final line. By the way, I don't like materialistic boys at all, so don't go wasting those $500 on useless things. I grinned to myself, fully convinced that he would block me within minutes. I was certain this blind date was doomed before it began. To my genuine shock, however, he only replied with a few calm words. He didn't get angry, didn't argue, and didn't block me. His self-restraint was far beyond my expectations. That same night, I mustered up the courage to check my final exam scores. When I saw the results, I almost fainted from anger. I had failed Professor Lula's course by just one single point. For an entire semester I had attended every class, taken detailed notes, submitted all assignments on time, and even given him perfect scores in every teaching evaluation. I had truly tried my best in his class, yet he refused to pass me even by a little. Furious and heartbroken, I immediately posted a rant on Moments. Luli, you are my lifelong enemy, I called. Unkind person who never even has toilet paper when he goes to the bathroom. Within minutes, my blind date left a comment under the post: you didn't study seriously in class, so don't blame mothers when you fail the exam. I was even more annoyed and snapped back without thinking, baby, you have no idea. Professor Lu always walks around with a terrible lifeless expression. I only chose his class because I was fooled by his looks at first, but don't worry. From now on, I only like you. I won't even glance at other men. I purposefully made my words sound greasy, clingy, and absurdly shallow, hoping he would finally be disgusted. For the actual blind date the next day, I intentionally turned off all my alarms, waking up late on purpose. I arrived a full hour late, thinking that such rude behavior would definitely destroy any remaining chance of this date going well. I took my time walking to the restaurant, pushed open the private room door, and froze completely. Sitting calmly inside was none other than my strict, unsmiling college professor Luli. He lifted his eyes slowly, raised one eyebrow slightly, and spoke in a calm, steady tone that sent chills down my spine. Kinyu, exactly how warm is your 37 degrees Celsius embrace? I wanted to vanish into thin air. How on earth could my blind date be my professor? My mind went blank for a full 10 seconds. I turned around immediately, ready to run away as fast as I could, but he stopped me with one sentence: I already saw you. There's no point in running now, unless you want me to tell your mother about this. I was nailed to the spot, completely defeated. I had no choice but to turn back with a bitter, twisted expression and greet him awkwardly. Professor Lu He. What a coincidence, my smile was uglier than crying, and I was using every ounce of strength to force those words out. I tried my hardest to end the farce quickly. Professor, this whole blind day was my mother's messy arrangement. I truly had no idea it was you. Let's just pretend this never happened. I'll tell her we're not compatible. To soften the blow, I even added generously, I'll say you were uninterested in me. That way, I'll save your pride. Lu's face remained expressionless. Why would I be uninterested in you? I paused, then quickly changed my words obediently. Then I'll say I'm not interested in you. He pressed forward calmly. What exactly about me do you not like? I was completely stuck, unable to answer. He didn't let me go. Last night you said you would only love me for the rest of your life. Today you're already saying we're not suitable. He stared straight into my eyes. You promised you would support me with 500 yuan every month. Does that promise still count? I was so embarrassed that I could dig a hole in the ground and hide. The entire meal felt like torture. I ate silently, shoveling food into my mouth nonstop, not daring to say a single word. I endured the humiliation for nearly 5 long hours before the date finally ended. After returning home, I ignored Lu Li completely for the whole days, choosing to play dead and not reply to any of his messages. Then, the class group chat was suddenly flooded with a long notice from our counselor, reminding all students to study hard, avoid failing exams, and never insult teachers online. I immediately realized that Lu Li had reported my angry moments post. I was so angry I could grind my teeth, yet I was completely helpless. He was my professor, and I was just a student. That night, Lu Li sent me another WeChat message. You've ignored me for 2 days. Are you planning to keep pretending to be dead? Or have you found another baby already? Are you going to give those 500 yuan monthly living expenses to your new baby instead? I almost spat out my water in shock. I surrendered immediately, my fingers typing quickly to beg for mercy. Professor Lu, please stop teasing me like this. I'm so sorry. I'm just a fragile college student who only knows how to eat and sleep. He asked calmly, am I really that old? You keep addressing me with the formal, distant "N-I-N." Even though he couldn't see me, I shook my head frantically. No, you're not old at all. You're very young and handsome. I was telling the truth. Lu Li was only 29, the youngest professor in our university, with a gentle, youthful face that was unbelievably good minus lucky. He replied instantly, then what you call me? I hesitated carefully. What would you like me to call you? Professor. He typed back without delay, baby. I nearly choked. How could I possibly call my professor baby? It was disrespectful and absurd. I replied, trembling, Professor, please maintain proper conduct as a teacher. A student-teacher relationship is inappropriate. Lu Li replied instantly again, what's wrong with it? I took a deep breath, feeling like I was playing with fire. I apologized once more and disappeared again, hoping he would leave me alone. I thought the chaos was finally over until Lunar New Year's Eve. Lu Li showed up directly at my front door with gifts, smiling politely to greet my parents. My parents welcomed him like he was already their son minus law, completely ignoring my stunned expression. The entire morning I was in a daze, unable to think straight. At the dinner table, my mother even tapped my chopsticks lightly to scold me. You. Stop spacing out. Hurry and serve food for Professor Lu. Reluctantly, I gave him a piece of braised pork, still angry inside. Even more ridiculously, after dinner, my parents pushed both Lu Li and me outside the house, saying we needed to build up our relationship. No matter how hard I knocked or shouted, they refused to open the door. I was furious and desperate, even thinking about climbing through the window. Lu Li watched me calmly and said seriously, you owe me feelings. My eyes widened in shock. When on earth had I ever owed him feelings? Just then, my aunt arrived, and she saw Lu Li. Her eyes lit up instantly. and she immediately tried to set him up with my cousin. I couldn't stand it and talked back to her. To my surprise, Luli stood by my side, speaking politely but firmly to reject her, shutting my aunt down completely. I felt secretly delighted finally. Someone could shut that gossipy, meddlesome woman up. I thought everything would finally calm down, but Luli started causing trouble again. He posted screenshots of my cheesy, silly lines on his moments. Writing she said she would support me for life. But now she's ghosting me, even me as his sugar mommy. The class group chat exploded instantly. Everyone was curious who the mysterious sugar mommy was. My roommates recognized my profile picture at a glance and forced me to confess the entire blind date disaster. I confronted Lily angrily, throwing all concerns about respecting my teacher to the wind. He said calmly I wouldn't reply to my messages, so I had to expose your behavior to all our friends. I couldn't believe how childish she was being. I sighed and asked, what do you want from me? Tell me, and I'll do it. He gave two simple conditions. First, you must never ghost me or ignore me again. Second, you will go out with me tomorrow. I had no choice but to agree. The next day, when we met, I was horrified to see that our coats were similar in color and style. We looked like we were wearing matching couple outfits. I was so embarrassed I wanted to hide. Luli acted completely natural, taking me to breakfast and walking with me through the shopping district. I finally cowed and held back and asked him what he really wanted. He looked at me seriously and said, "We are on a blind date. I am chasing you. Isn't spending time together normal?" I was stunned. This was all misunderstanding. The blind date should have been ruined already. We are teacher and student. It's impossible for us. Luli said softly, "You promised you would support me. You can't take back your words now." I took a deep breath and laid everything out clearly. Professor Liu, all those words were just pranks to ruin the blind date. I never meant any of them. We can't be together. You're a respected professor, and Dim just an ordinary student. I don't deserve you. He asked gently. Why not? Your parents approve of me, my parents approve of you, and I like you. Isn't that enough? I froze. He continued firmly, can you? I asked you out today to make it clear I am chasing you seriously. I was completely confused. What on earth could he possibly like about me? That I failed his exam? Or that I sent him silly, searing messages to help me pass the makeup exam? My parents teamed up with Liu Li and arranged for me to stay at his apartment near campus for intensive tutoring. As we spent day after day together, I gradually began to fall for him. However, the deep rooted insecurity from my unhappy childhood held me back. I had never truly felt loved by my parents. I had always been seen as a burden. I couldn't believe that someone as excellent, gentle, and promising as Professor Liu could actually like me. I deliberately distanced myself from him and moved back to the dormitory, pretending nothing had happened. Photos of Liu Li with his ex-girlfriend spread rapidly around the school. In the pictures, she was holding his hand tightly, looking at him affectionately. My heart ached sharply with jealousy and sadness. Without a word, I blocked Liu Li on all platforms. Early the next morning, Liu Li appeared directly downstairs at my dormitory. He took me to the school football field, where it was quiet and empty. He gently held my chin, forcing me to look up at him. His eyes were slightly red, filled with hurt. And you blocked me. Did you plan to never see me again for the rest of your life? My eyes burned with tears. I lowered my head and whispered I was just keeping a proper distance. He took a deep breath and explained to me gently and patiently, the girl in the photo is my ex-girlfriend. We broke up 6 years ago, right after college graduation. That part of my life is completely over. The person I like now is you. I only want to be with you for the rest of my life. I choked out through tears. What would you like about me? He touched my cheek softly, his voice warm and firm. I don't know. I just like you. I like your mischief, your smile. Every little thing about you. I know you lack deep security because of your childhood. I will give you all my love and attention, and I will fill in everything you've ever missed. All my fear, insecurity, loneliness. and hidden feelings burst out at once. I couldn't hold back any longer. I cried loudly and threw myself into his arms. For the first time in my life, I chose to believe in myself. I chose to believe in myself. I chose to believe that I deserved to be loved, truly and deeply.